If LinkedIn feels as if it should work for your business, but every time you open up the app, you just feel a lot of resistance. The thought of posting more, doing more, it just kind of gets to you. Then this video will be a relief for you. Because growing your business on LinkedIn is not about doing more. It's actually about doing less, but focus on the right things and doing them long enough. In this video, I'll walk you through my simple LinkedIn strategy where I will focus on and cover the 7 fundamentals that you need to actually get clients on LinkedIn in 2026. And yes, I will definitely include the one thing that most coaches do wrong and miss, even if they're trying to be consistent. And I know this because for years I added more content, more offers, more sales strategies. But instead of actually getting more clients, all I got was just busy by being busy. And everything shifted when I stopped asking what else should I be doing and started focusing on what do I need to remove. And that's exactly what this video is about. It's about what you should focus on and what you should stop doing. So stay until the end so that you get the complete list. But first, let's start with what you absolutely don't need. You don't need ads. You don't need to send cold direct messages pitching complete strangers. And you definitely don't need a complete Notion board with content ideas that you will never use. And for now, also forget about your LinkedIn business page. Because if your goal is to generate at least 5 high-quality leads per week, that will happen from your personal profile, not your business page. It's far easier to build trust and gain visibility from a personal profile than from a business page. Look at Sarah Blakely, for example. She's the founder of Spanx. She has millions of followers on her personal profile on LinkedIn, whereas Spanx only had a few 100,000. Same with Stephen Bartlett. He has millions of followers and he's the investor in several different businesses. He has listed them all on his profile, but all of them only have a fraction of the number of followers that he has. And no, I'm not saying that you should become one of them. These are just examples. And there are 2 things that are really important here. If you scroll through your own feed, for example, you will see mainly posts from personal profiles. Unless it's a sponsored post, then it might be from a business page. So that is the first reason. But the second and more important reason is that people buy from people. People want to connect with you. They want to learn from you. Most people, though, avoid building their personal profile, not because they don't understand strategy. It's because they are afraid of being judged. And it's so much easier to judge a personal profile than it is to judge a logo. And if this feels uncomfortable, it's totally normal. I was terrified when I started posting on LinkedIn too. I was so afraid that my former banking colleagues would talk about me behind my back. But let me be really honest here. If they do talk behind my back, I have no clue about it. And here's the good thing. Some of them have even become my clients. So this is the year for you when you stop hiding behind your business and start building your personal brand. And through that, grow your business on LinkedIn. So now let's talk about what you do need to do to attract the right people. You need an audience. And this might sound obvious, but most people actually get this wrong because most people chase their ideal clients when that is completely the wrong thing to do. What you need are supporters. Because here's the thing, you have over 1 billion users on LinkedIn, but less than 2% of us actually post regularly. That makes it very difficult for you to find and connect with your ideal clients. Let's assume you're a relationship coach, for example. Very few would raise their hand or comment on your post saying, hey, I have troubles in my marriage, I need your help. Or if you're a leadership coach, for example, very few people would say, I have trouble with my manager, or I didn't get the promotion and I want a new job. So that's why you need supporters first. And I'm not talking about your mom or your friends, because as we both know, they don't really understand what it is that you're doing or what you're trying to do. No, you need real supporters, people who get you, who get what you're doing and who supports your content. They like your post, they comment on your post, they share your post, they see your posts, even if they're not yet ready to buy from you. Think of these people as the people who clap when you are on stage after your talk has ended. Your family or your friends or your mom, they are the ones who clap even before you go on stage because they are so inspired by what it is that you're doing. But you need the people who are convinced, who actually understand your content and understand what it is that you're trying to say. Your content should absolutely speak to your ideal client. That is how you convert them. But you also need to write in a language that makes it possible for more people to comment on your posts so that it's actually seen by more people. Because without the supporters, your reach stays very small. Because when no one likes, no one comments, no one engages in your content, that sends a signal to LinkedIn that your posts are not worth seeing. So that is why you need supporters. And I'm not talking about engagement pods here. I'm talking about real supporters, people who actually really like your content, because that validates your content and it shows you that it lands. As opposed to an engagement pod, for example, you have no clue if what you're writing actually is good enough to convert people. Your supporters creates visibility, and visibility leads to trust, and you need both to be able to sell on LinkedIn. And in the next step, that is where I see a lot of unnecessary confusion. One of the biggest issues why most coaches and service providers and consultants actually fail to sell on LinkedIn is because they're trying to sell too many things, or, to be honest, nothing at all. If your audience lands on your profile and they can't answer the questions, what is it that you do? And is this for me? You have lost them and they won't take the next step. Instead, I suggest you focus on one offer, solving one single problem with a very clear outcome and result. I know it sounds very simple, and that's exactly why it works so well. Because clarity is what helps people to actually decide that you are for them. And when it comes to the sales process itself, that is where most people actually totally overcomplicate things. Sales doesn't need to be complicated. You don't need big funnels that just make your head hurt. What you need is actually one clear path from content to next step to your offer. And here's why this matters so much. It's that when your sales strategy is simple, you actually also do it. It's when things are complicated that we don't really like to do that. And there are 3 simple sales strategies to use on LinkedIn. So let me go through them all. The first thing is direct message. Your content lead to conversations in the direct messages. And when it feels like the right way, the right path, you send them an invitation to book a call, a strategy call with you. This is not cold outreach, cold pitching. This is you responding to the signals that you have gotten, where you invite your person to actually book a call with you to get their problem solved. Number 2, and the one that I love doing, is live teaching. So you teach something live, your strategy, for example, and then you invite them to either book a call with you or to click and buy, depending on what your offer is. I really love this way to sell because you've built authority and people actually get to see you in action. And then they can choose whether they want to follow up on your invitation or not. And then we have number 3. That is where you invite people to join your email list through, for example, downloading one of your freebies. And then you nurture them on your email list and then you invite them to the next step. And again, that can be a book a call with you or to invite them to one of your free webinars, for example. Inviting people to join your email list is a long-term strategy. For example, some of my newest clients have been on my email list for over a year. That doesn't mean that everybody who will join your email list needs that long to actually start trusting you. But remember that just because someone joins your email list and doesn't take any action doesn't mean that they might not become a client later down the line. So you need to continue nurturing them. You need to send those weekly emails. I see that so often that people invite people to join their email list and then there's nothing, right? When you have the first person to join your email list, that is when you need to start sending regular emails. The reason why this is so important is that even though I am a huge fan of LinkedIn, it's still borrowed land. You can lose your LinkedIn account and any social media account in an instant. So that is why you need to start building an email list as soon as possible. So I suggest you pick 1 or maximum 2 of these sales strategies and you do them for the next 60 days. Don't give up. Continue doing that over and over again. That is also how you feel comfortable in doing sales on LinkedIn. But we can't just show up on LinkedIn and hope to get sales. You also need step number 4, and that is building visibility. And visibility does not mean posting every single day. It actually means to implement a visibility strategy that is sustainable over the long term. For example, 2 or 3 posts per week. That's it. Choose a schedule that works for you. Let's say Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then you do them over and over again. I often get the question, when is the best time to post? The time to post is actually when it's the best time for you. independently of whether that's the best time of your audience. Because you can't keep up a schedule that's not good for you in the long run. So pick the time that works best for you, and then you add that to your calendar so that it also gets done. Simplicity is what makes consistency possible, which actually leads me into step number 5, consistency. I see it so many times how people go all in on LinkedIn, and maybe if we're lucky, they manage to keep it up for 90 days, and then they're completely burnt out because they have been commenting like crazy and they have been showing up 24/7. So they can't keep it up in the long run. I mean, you can't have a strategy that's not working for you. You can't have a LinkedIn strategy that takes over your complete time. You need to have a schedule that really works for you, not just today and tomorrow, but in a year's time. That's how you need to think about it. Because trust is not built through intensity. It's built through familiarity, that people actually see you, they know you, they like you, and now they've also started to trust you. The most successful people on LinkedIn aren't the loudest or the fastest. They are the ones who actually stick to it for a longer period of time. Number 6 is most likely something that you know, but you might actually resist it. And that is to repeat your message over and over and over again. And to be honest, the only person who will be tired of it are you, no one else. And you might be thinking, I've already said this, I've already used this strategy, or now I'm changing again, and how can I show up when I'm changing again? Well, you need to show up, even when it feels uncomfortable, and you need to show up with the same message over and over again. And I admit, I feel the same way talking about LinkedIn, thinking that people should actually know this already. But I also know that that's not the case, because people come to me all the time saying, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, this is the first time that I heard about that. Remember that you are the specialist. You know more about these things than most people actually do. So by repeating the message, you also share what you know, you inspire others, and you're able to help others. Only a fraction of your followers will see your posts. And there will be new people who join your world all the time. So you need to keep the message going so that the newbies also get to know, like, and trust you. Because just because you are ready to sell doesn't mean that your audience is ready to buy it. And I want you to remember this. Repetition is not annoying. It actually builds authority. Because experts, they repeat their message over again. It's the beginners who constantly change and start all over again. And now the most critical piece, the one that most people are actually missing. Even with the right strategy, you will struggle if you don't believe in this in the long term. It's a marathon and not a sprint. You have to build the emotional safety to be visible. And you have to build in a feedback loop with your audience to see what resonates and what doesn't, so that you can improve your messaging and that you make sure that it is what your audience wants and needs. LinkedIn rewards patience and not panic. And you know this, you can't sit and wait for confidence. You have to take action to become confident. It's like training a muscle. The more you train, the more confident you will become. So let me summarize the 7 steps that you need to grow your business on LinkedIn. You need an audience with real supporters. You need one offer, and you need one simple sales strategy. But you also need one simple visibility strategy so that you can stay consistent. And you have to have the courage to repeat yourself and be patient and not give up, but to keep going even when it feels hard. That's it. You don't need more. You just need to focus and you need to be clear. If you found this helpful, I have a free masterclass where I go deeper into my framework, and I would love to see you there. I will share my complete system that I'm using myself and that my clients are using to generate leads and clients on repeat. I'll add the link so you can register in the description below. And remember to give this video a like and to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss my next video.